My dear students, in this class, let us learn about the structure and function of the ribosomes. Cell is the basic unit of life and it requires many components for its sustenance. Cell requires proteins, carbohydrates and also lipids. All these three major components, namely proteins, carbohydrates and lipids, have both structural and functional roles to play. Cell requires many components for the synthesis of enzymes. In such components, proteins are very crucial or very important. Proteins are important constituents of all enzymes. All enzymes are proteins. Such proteins within the cell are synthesized or manufactured by ribosomes. Hence, we can say that ribosomes are workbenches of protein synthesis. That means these proteins are useful as structural components and also as functional components. They can also serve the nutrient needs of the cell. We can say that ribosomes are like dining table on which proteins are served for the cell. So like that, ribosomes play a very crucial role. But these ribosomes, given their crucial nature, because without ribosomes the cell cannot synthesize its own proteins for the day-to-day sustenance. Given their importance, these ribosomes are ubiquitous. They are found both in prokaryotic cells and also eukaryotic cells. And the size of the prokaryotic ribosome differs from the size of the eukaryotic ribosome. And every cell has got certain cell organelles that are taking up the function of synthesis, and there are some more cell organelles that are responsible for processing, and there are some other cell organelles that are responsible for the dissolution of the entire sequence or entire metabolites. That means metabolites are synthesized, processed and dissolved, that's all. And ribosome plays the role of a synthesizer. Ribosomes play the role of a manufacturer. Especially protein synthesis occurs within the ribosomes. So being so crucial in cell sustenance, in cell metabolism, ribosomes are found both in prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells, but the size of the prokaryotic ribosome differs from that of eukaryotic ribosome. Prokaryotic ribosome belongs to 70S type, whereas eukaryotic ribosome belongs to 80S type. And whether it is prokaryotic ribosome or eukaryotic ribosome, all these ribosomes are made up of two subunits. Let us see all these factors in the subsequent slides. Ribosomes are made up of ribonucleoproteins. They are found in both prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. The term ribosome was coined by Claude. They are also found in mitochondria and chloroplast, because mitochondria and chloroplast are semi-autonomous cell organelles which have their own ribosomes and which can synthesize their own proteins individually and independently. Hence, within the cell, ribosomes are also found in the mitochondria and the chloroplast. Whether it is a mitochondrial ribosome or chloroplast ribosome, prokaryotic ribosome, eukaryotic ribosome, there should be two subunits. One subunit is called smaller subunit and another subunit is called larger subunit. So there are two subunits, namely smaller subunit and larger subunit. Every ribosome, it may be 70S ribosome or 80S ribosome, they should contain two subunits in turn. In this 70S and 80S, the letter S indicates Swedberg unit. Swedberg unit in turn denotes the sedimentation coefficient of ribosome. That means Swedberg unit indicates the sedimentation coefficient of the ribosome. So like that, based on the sedimentation coefficient, The prokaryotic ribosome is branded as 70S and eukaryotic ribosome is branded as 80S. Whatever may be, whether it is 80S or 70S, they should contain two subunits, namely one smaller subunit and another one is larger subunit. 80S ribosomes are found in eukaryotes, 70S ribosomes are found in prokaryotes. S refers to Swedberg unit and this denotes sedimentation coefficient. 80S is made up of 60S and 40S subunits. This is very important bit, of course. 80S ribosome is made up of two subunits like any other ribosome, and these subunits belong to 60S and 40S. Like that, 70S ribosome is made up of 50S and 30S subunits. 70S ribosomes are found freely in the cytoplasm in case of prokaryotes, because we know pretty well that the prokaryotes do not contain nucleus. Because the prokaryotic cells do not contain nucleus or endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria is also absent in case of prokaryotes. So, in case of eukaryotes, there are many locations, there are many places in which ribosomes are found. Whereas in case of prokaryotes, there is no such variation, there is no such variety, there is no such possibility. All these 70S ribosomes that are found in prokaryotes are invariably found scattered freely in the cytoplasm. Whereas in case of eukaryotes, the 80S ribosomes may be found attached to endoplasmic reticulum. In such cases, if any endoplasmic reticulum is containing ribosomes attached to that, such endoplasmic reticulum is called rough endoplasmic reticulum. That means, in case of eukaryotes, the 80S ribosomes may be found attached to the endoplasmic reticulum or may be found freely scattered within the cytoplasm. But there is no choice for prokaryotic ribosome. In case of prokaryotes, there is no choice for a ribosome. It should be found in a scattered condition in the cytoplasm. Okay. So, let us go to the next slide. 80S ribosomes are found either attached to rough endoplasmic reticulum or they are scattered freely in the cytoplasm. Single ribosome in prokaryotes is referred to as monosome. Mono means single. Group of ribosomes attached to mRNA chain is called polysomes. For example, imagine that this is a mRNA chain and you find the different ribosomes attached to this mRNA. That means the mRNA strand is running through the channel that is present between the two subunits of this ribosome. In such cases, you can see this, you can visualize this, or you can compare this with a string and bead. You can compare these ribosomes with beads, and the mRNA that is running through the channels of this ribosomes is comparable to the string. Coming to the molecular weight, 70S ribosome has got 3 into 10 to the power of 6 Daltons. 80S ribosomes will have 5 into 10 to the power of 6 Daltons. Anyway, let us come back to the significance of ribosomes that are attached to this mRNA. If the ribosome is found in a single condition, that is called monosome undoubtedly, but if the ribosomes are found attached just like the beads to the string to the mRNA, then such a chain of ribosomes is called polysome, and this has a definite role to play in protein synthesis. Now let us go to the next slide. We will go to the next slide. In presence of magnesium ions, the subunits associate. I made it very clear that the major function of the ribosome is protein synthesis. For protein synthesis, the two subunits of the ribosomes should come together. Under normal condition, under the conditions where protein synthesis is not taking place within the cell, the subunits of the ribosomes, they remain separated. They never come together unnecessarily. They never rub shoulders with each other unnecessarily. They come together only in case of need. Whenever the cell takes up the synthesis of proteins, then the two subunits of the ribosomes come together. For this, higher concentration of magnesium ions is required. So, in presence of magnesium ions, the two subunits of the ribosomes associate themselves with each other. They get attached with each other. They know when to get attached and when to get detached. They are very professionals. Human beings are not like that. There are many things that are to be learned from the cellular mechanics. Anyway, in presence of magnesium ions, this is very important bit. In presence of magnesium ions, the two subunits of the ribosomes come together. This is the smaller unit and bigger unit coming together, you can see, and this is the smaller unit. Now you can see it is coming bouncing to the larger unit. Now this is bigger unit, this is larger one, and this is the smaller one. They come together, they associate with each other only in the presence of magnesium ions. Now let us see what will happen in the next animation. That means this is the ribosome, total unit of the ribosome, where the smaller unit and the bigger unit have come together in presence of magnesium ions, of course. During protein synthesis, the two subunits of ribosomes come closer and they depart once the protein synthesis is completed. Magnesium ions are required for the fusion of the ribosomal subunits. In higher concentration of magnesium ions, ribosomal subunits associate, and in the less concentration of magnesium ions, they simply dissociate. So as I already told, ribosome has larger and smaller subunits, and this site is called E site. Here you can see, you can very clearly see this site is called E site, and this one is called P, and this one is called A site. So there are three sites. One is E site, and another one is P site, and another one is A site. E, P, A sites are found on ribosomes. E site is the exit site. All these sites have got their own validity or significance or importance in the process of protein synthesis. E site is the exit site. E site is the exit site. A site is the amino acyl site. P site is the peptidyl site. These three sites are oriented 5 to 3 direction. E, P, A, because ribosomes move towards third end of the mRNA during the process of protein synthesis. RNA and proteins along with metal ions. All these three factors, they play a very crucial role in the process of protein synthesis. Now let us go to the next slide. Yeah, here let us go back to the previous slide. Here you can see the ribosomes that are attached to the mRNA, and mRNA strand, it is running through the channel that is present between the two ribosomal subunits. Okay, so that's it. Now we have seen the structure in detail. Now let us see the functions of the ribosomes. I have already made it very clear. While describing the structure itself, I have listed out the functions. Let us make a review of the functions that will serve our purpose. Ribosomes facilitate the interaction of the RNA, especially tRNA amino acid complex with mRNA. Its main function is to carry out protein synthesis. Ribosomes also protect the mRNA and nascent proteins from the action of nucleases and proteases respectively. I told that the mRNA strand runs through the two subunits of the ribosomes. This gives some sort of protection to mRNA from being digested by the nuclease enzyme. Like that, nascent proteins are nothing but newly formed proteins. They are also protected by the ribosomes from the action of proteases. Thus, ribosomes are aptly known as workbenches of protein synthesis. So, ribosomes, apart from taking part in the protein synthesis, they are facilitating the interaction of the tRNA amino acid complex with mRNA, and it is also responsible for protecting the mRNA and the nascent proteins from being digested by the action of the nucleases and proteases respectively. So, this is about the structure and function of ribosomes. Thank you very much. If possible, try to subscribe to the channel if possible. Thank you very much.